what type of domain name should I choose? Let's just say if you have a brand new business and you're like, okay, I need a domain name. I need something to call my website, something to put it on business cards, right? So what I would really recommend is to go for a .com first and foremost. It's the most popular right now, and people typically just are, they typically just go to .com websites, okay? Sometimes they're taken though, and this sometimes ruffles people's feathers where they're like, hey, I've owned this business for 30 years. How does somebody else have my name? And I'm not an attorney, but a lot of times, it's one of those concepts that somebody just beat you to the punch. And there's only one name for that domain name, okay? So say it's name.com, that's what you want, okay? So if it's your personal name, so just a little tip, buy your personal name.com, or if you have kids, buy their name.com. So that way in the future, when somebody's Googling your name or doing an AI search on your name, you have a website that you can kind of tell it what you're about, okay? It's kind of like the new resume, okay? But when it comes to your business, some people put their business llc.com or inc.com or things like that, which might be okay, but I would try to keep it as short as you can, okay? So if it's yourname.com, go with that, okay? Now, there's also .nets and .orgs and all kinds of COs and all these other things, okay? So be very cautious with some of these things, because anything out of a .com or .org, then you really have to focus on your marketing and your brand story and things like this so people can remember you. Okay, so just like somebody could buy, just because the .net might be available doesn't mean that you necessarily want to use it. Because again, people might automatically go to that .com, and that could be a competitor or it could be somebody with the same name in another state. It gets a little confusing, right? Sometimes people too, they'll think that, well, I have to have a domain name that matches my business name. And that's not true. I mean, if you have, like, say for an example, if you're, if I'm Chris, dentist, LLC or something like that, I could have coloradospringsdentist.com, or I could have denverdentist.com or something like that, okay? It doesn't have to be, it could be a keyword name, and it doesn't have to have anything to do with your company name. So it just really depends on what works best for you, okay? Another tip is try to avoid like hyphens and weird to pronounce things, okay? So if you're like name, hyphen, word, hyphen, something else, hyphen, think about it on the telephone. If you have to explain it to somebody, then it makes it a lot harder, okay? So really try to go into this and say, you know what? This is what I see. This is, it's very simple. It's this and this. Also make sure you look at it on a piece of paper to make sure there's no curse words or anything that are blended in together that might come off kind of weird when you're trying to, explain to somebody over the telephone, okay? Anyways, hopefully that helps. And if you need help choosing a domain name, I always recommend just going to like GoDaddy or someplace like that. And this is not sponsored or anything. Just, I go there and I do a search first. And then you can buy that domain name then, or you can buy it somewhere else. It's no big deal. But just go see what's available. So that way you kind of get an idea before you even talk to a web designer. Anyways, hopefully this helps. Great question. If you have more questions, make sure you reach out to me here at coloradowebimpressions.com or call me at 719-419-3935.